All right, everybody, welcome to the Best Family Homestead, and today we are going to get started on prepping our posts to go underground. Can't really just drop them in. Well, I guess you can. I did the big one, but ideally what you're going to want to do first is we're going to go through and get all the bark off. That way no insects or moisture can hide in the bark. And we've also got to snip off all these all the little limbs. So I think what I'm going to do on this is go up about 2 or 3 foot while it's off, or while it's not in the hole. Then we'll sink it, and then we'll finish doing the top because it'll be just a little bit easier with it nice and secured. All right, first things first, chainsaw. Robert's house killed my chainsaw blade. So we're gonna go over here and get that fixed up. I had forgotten that his house killed my chainsaw blade. Wasn't his fault. All right. All right. We gotta get our axe sharp here. It's spent too much time hanging out in the weather. I don't think it would cut much of it. Luckily, I already have my belt sander up. All right, so that one is sharp, very sharp. Yeah, that's a good edge. So I don't know if any of y'all remember back when I was just starting up, one of the first videos I did was trying to show Robert how to split cedar posts or cedar logs into fence posts, and he smacked the crap out of his leg with a go devil. They almost smacked the crap out of his leg with a go devil. This is going to get hid from Robert. Nothing mean, just I kind of like having him around, so I don't want to chop off the leg. All right, let's go get started. Okay, so since I hit a nail when we were working on that beam, a simple run across it with my chainsaw file is not going to cut it. So I'm breaking out the big boys. This is specifically for sharpening chainsaw blades. This blade might be shot for good. I think it'll be good enough for I think it might be good for cutting those cedars. But if I get into bigger stuff again, you can see that notice that how serrated that top is there because of that nail. And there's a few of them like that, but it'll still work for just cutting little stuff. So let's get back over here and get to it. Yeah, that chainsaw blade's pretty much smoked. Well, let's run down to the lawn care place. They don't sell 36-inch chains at Lowe's and Home Depot. No normal people use a chainsaw that big. So let's run down here and get us a new chain. And since I'm not really sweaty yet, well, not my head, might as well, since it's pretty warm today, go and get a haircut. Been meaning to do it for like the past 3 weeks. All right, well, we'll be back in just a few minutes. All right, so that took a lot longer than I anticipated. Had to go 3 or 4 different places to find my chainsaw chain, but got a little spiffed up while I was out. I don't care what you say. Happiness is a new chainsaw blade. So let's get it put on. Yep, got the wrong one. I was thinking this was a 32-inch bar. I guess it's a 28. $93, 28. I'd asked Eric Caroline to come out and look, but she didn't know what she was looking for when we were talking on the phone. That's okay. I have another idea. I didn't think about it until I was on my way home. I think it might even work better than this. So, we are going to box up this old chain. So we can take it back. Unfortunately, where I got it, a pretty good height to the house, so I think it will be done a little bit later. All right, so remember I got this running, and with most of these being small, this will be a lot easier and a lot easier to control anyway. but I'm still gonna need a big chainsaw in the next day or two for trimming them to height and such. But we're gonna give this a shot and see if we can at least get these posts in today. All right, so I found my new draw knife. Well, not new, but I found my draw knife. And if you don't know, this is a draw knife. As I get my shop cleaned out, which, judging by the way that building this fence is gone, doesn't seem like a real reality for me at this point. I know I'll get it done. But a draw knife is exactly what the word says. It's a knife that you draw towards you. And it's the fastest way for peeling off the bark. Yeah, you can see right here we're in the crack. And all because of the bark holding the moisture and blocking everything. I've got some ants. Don't want that. It's where this has got a little crack in it. If I take all that bark off, they won't get under there. They won't go into the cedar. Plus I'll do a little coat of just spray on some Thompson's water seal or something. Be good to go. All right, well, that's how you prepare a cedar fence post. Obviously I'm not even done with one yet, but getting the bark off and cutting all these little nubbies off. I'm gonna sharpen the pole saw too. Problem is I don't have a chainsaw file that small, so I'm gonna have to get one of those. Well, I've got a few minutes, so I'll have to leave to go coach. Definitely today, nowhere near as much as I wanted to get accomplished. Nowhere near. Oh well, let's see what we can get done here in the next 30-45 minutes. All right, so when you're sinking a fence post, obviously critical piece of equipment is post hole diggers or an auger, depending on what you got. Then you still need post hole diggers. You saw I just cleaned out the bottom. The auger pulled or let a lot of dirt fall back in. This is probably one of the most important things. This is a tamping stick. You can buy them at the hardware store. They're pretty expensive because steel is really expensive. This is an old piece of railroad iron. This is heavier than any tamping stick you get at a hardware store. This thing's ridiculous. So now we're going to go ahead and start getting our pole set up. I need to go grab my level real quick and I'll be right back. All right, so I've got my level. And now I'm going to start by getting my post hole centered up. I'm gonna start filling it up with dirt. I want to get it just enough where it'll kind of hold itself. Looks like I'm gonna have to do this one the hard way. If you have red clay, you can almost get these things as tight as with concrete, probably a little bit tighter. Red clay's no joke. And I did think about something that might be a little bit easier really than even the pole saw or the chainsaw. Well, not easier physically, but do just as good of a job. Well, that's going to be higher. So I just thought about something that I should have thought about a minute ago. When you're doing a draw knife, you want to start at the small end and work your way down. That way you're not catching on the grain that the splinter is bad. So you saw right here, you know, I was pulling and it was actually doing what it needed to. See, the grain doesn't catch as bad. Yeah, I think that will look good. That'll look real good because I'm going to draw knife the get all the bark off the slabs going on the sides too, so it'll all match. So I'm going to have to rig me up some good clamps, some chain clamps or something to hold those flat before I sink them. So I won't be able to get up high. All right, everybody. Well, that is how to prep and sink a fence post if you're not using concrete, and if it has a bark, how to get the bark off. I do need to sharpen my little pole saw. I may or may not have grazed the tractor, which may or may not really be bad for a chainsaw blade. Oops. All right, so not really enough time to do a whole lot more work on the fence, but I did want to give you guys an update and maybe another solved mystery on our mystery vine here. So all right, so I had a viewer get up with me and give me some advice, which made a whole lot of sense, and I started looking it up. So gourds, pumpkins, things like that, when they get really long like this, they produce male flowers only. And I had actually thought about the male flower thing. Once, like, oh, wonder if I need 2 plants. I wonder if they'll germinate. And then I got to thinking, looked at it a little bit, and it's like, oh no, they can produce both sex flowers. Well, when given free run, and especially if they've been going a long time, what happens is, yeah, see there, it kind of fell off, and so it wasn't eaten. So got to looking and doing some more research, and if you let the vines get super long and all like I have, they're not going to produce female flowers, only male flowers. So what I've got to do here is I'm going to come in here, and even though there's a lot of flowers, it will make more flowers. You can see they are making more. And I'm going to trim off from the main stalk, which is right here somewhere. From the main stalk, I'm going to cut all these longer pieces about 12 feet. All right, so you can tell the male flowers, they have this bulge down here at the bottom, and the females won't. So what happens is below this bulb here, this is just see there, yep, it just came right off and left a nice clean, looks like it was eaten by a rabbit, stem. Alrighty, well, it's moving on in the season, but we still have plenty of time before we get a frost or a freeze. We usually don't get one until really January, but we will start losing sunlight soon. So hopefully we have enough time and this works, and we get at least some kind of little fruit out of it. See what it is. Who knows? All right, well, I think I have enough time to maybe get a couple more posts prepared so I can start on that first thing in the morning. Alrighty, got sidetracked a little bit from the post because you guys have all been keeping up with my garden, my hugelkultur beds. Thought I'd show them off a little bit because they're pretty impressive. So I thought it was a jalapeno. I don't know if it is or not. If it is, holy crap. That's a lot of peppers. Got a lot of peppers all over the place. Now my okra, I put in there just because Mom sent it. I think the okra is going to have to go because it's getting big enough now where it's going to shade my pepper plants. And I like my peppers. We do have some green peppers here, starting to come on, looking pretty tasty. More, I think, green peppers. Those same leaves, they look kind of odd. Yeah, here's another pepper plant hanging just slat full. This little guy's got some blooms and some baby peppers. This one's got some more blooms. It got chewed on a little bit. And the tomatoes are coming along very nicely. Got some big sandwich tomatoes coming on here, and then our little, I think these are called atomic fireballs. I don't know though, we'll have to see how big they get. And the ones that I have topped are still growing suckers, so it doesn't get rid of the suckers, but it doesn't appear that they've grown any taller. So I need to go ahead and top the rest of these since they are getting so high, and do a little bit of suckering. Always. I felt that in there, I was a little bit drier than I thought I was. So I had to turn the hose on for a little while. And another update. So remember our suckers we planted? They were looking really rough, and I noticed that one here didn't have any, oh crap, well, I might have just killed that one. Didn't have any offshoots coming off of it. So I pulled these off because these were looking really droopy, and the centers were looking good. So you can see I've been keeping this really watered. I think I'll put a little bit more water in it. But they're perking up. They are perking up, standing up, and you can see they've actually got new growth coming on right here, stuff that wasn't there when I planted them. It looks like it's going to work. Give them another week or two, and I'll have something to fill in where I'm going to pull the okra up. I don't eat okra much. I used to like fried okra, but I like peppers a lot more. That's one heck of a root ball. I'm gonna find a bucket. Might be able to find a bucket and it still live. Yeah, I'll do that here in a minute. Yeah, ground's a little bit dry. All right. Well, I'll find a bucket and see if I can't salvage the okra. But it was definitely, that's why that little pepper is so small. And that one doesn't have any, well, it has little peppers on it. This one though is blowing my mind. Like there must be 30 peppers. It had so many peppers, I had to put a stake in there for it to rest against. Just pulling it over. Jalapeno poppers are gonna be amazing this year. All right guys, well, I'm trying to work up the get up and go to do a little bit more on the fence. Don't think it's going to happen. It's going to be dark in a few minutes. So set the alarm early, and after the homestead health and fitness workout, we'll be getting after, come straight out here and get after these fence posts. Have a nice night.